going on, internet? It's been a hot minute. I've been busy. Lots of stuff going on. Every year there is a horror movie that comes out of Sundance that gets a lot of buzz. For context, in 2018 that film was Hereditary, and in 2020 that film was The Night House, and it drew a lot of comparisons to Hereditary during its initial buzz. And here we are, it's in theaters now. I saw it about a week ago, I'm just getting to talk about it now.
Do you guys believe in ghosts? I think there's something in my house.
The Night House comes to us from David Bruckner, the director of The Ritual and of the upcoming Hellraiser remake. It stars Rebecca Hall as Beth, a woman grieving the very recent suicide of her husband. And as Beth struggles with her grief in the house her late husband built for her, she starts to uncover some dark secrets about his past. So like I said, in its initial buzz, this movie did draw a lot of comparisons to Hereditary. Again, we've got an isolated, grief-fueled horror flick, and I was a little worried going in that it would be more of what we've seen a million times now. Thankfully, I was wrong, and I don't really feel that the Hereditary comparisons were necessarily apt outside of the main theme being that of grief. And I'm going to keep this relatively spoiler-free, since this is a movie that ultimately deserves to be seen on the biggest, loudest screen possible, but just wear a fucking mask when you go to the theaters, guys. Seriously. The Night House is a mesmerizing, heartbreaking, terrifying psychological thriller that's designed to put you in the same seat of unease spiraling into paranoia that Beth is in the entire film. I was a huge fan of Bruckner's previous film, The Ritual, which also delved into themes of grief and regret, albeit through a much different lens. But The Night House is somewhat unique in the world of grief-stricken horror films. It's somber, it's isolated, it's legitimately unnerving. And it gave me full-body goosebumps for well over an hour. The visual style here is fantastic. There is a phenomenal use of negative space, turning this home into something oppressive and creating the sense of another presence, solely through the use of clever furniture positions and objects in the house that create the shape almost of a human being, and you're questioning whether or not you're seeing something there, even though you can't see something there. And it gives you the sense that there's something always present, always watching. The methodical, slow pacing, and constant use of static camera shots and long takes reminded me of The Invisible Man at times, with Bruckner crafting entire scenes and scares around a presence that you can't see. And there is a jump scare in this movie that I think deserves a slot in like the pantheon of great horror jump scares, because it is excellent. It caught me so off guard in a good way, and it sent me into like a slight panic attack in the theater. What I really loved about this movie is just how engaging it is, though. The way the film is structured, the way the plot unfolds, it just really keeps you on your toes, and you're trying to guess the directions the plot's going to go in, and it really does a good job at keeping you guessing. And as Beth uncovers more and more about her husband, your expectations of the plot keep taking drastic, sharp turns. Its central mystery is based in the unknown, in the unknowable, in the finality of death and the existential dread of whether or not something, if anything, comes after. I wouldn't be able to finish talking about this, though, without talking about Rebecca Hall's performance. This is, without a doubt, the best role I've ever seen her in. Beth is going through it, and Hall sells that in a way that is both funny and heartbreaking and uncomfortable all at the same time, and it's aided by a fantastic script, of course. But there are several scenes where she's saying this dialogue that's so hard-hitting and blunt, but so real, that you're just kind of like cringing into yourself because it is very uncomfortable. Two scenes in particular, one in a classroom and one in a bar, just had me cringing out of social discomfort. And that's just in the first act. As things spiral, she has to go to some really dark places, and when she gets there, I think she nails it. Y'all, I love the shit out of The Night House. I'm still dwelling on it, but I think this might have knocked Saint Maud off its perch as at the top of my favorite movies of the year list. When I'm less burnt out and not juggling 17 different things, I will do a much more detailed breakdown on this movie. The multiple tones of romance and grief and crushing existential dread are woven together beautifully, and the result is a film that sticks with you really long after the credits roll. This solidified for me that I am a huge fan of David Bruckner's work, and I'm more stoked now than ever for the Hellraiser remake. Definitely check this one out, guys. As always, if you like this channel, you want to see more, click down there, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you want to be like any of these cool people right here, I'd appreciate that too. Patreon link is down in the description. Diviner is coming very soon. We just finished the rough cut. I'm very excited for you all to see it. My battery's about to die, so I'm gonna go. Bye, guys.